Hey. Hickety hey man. Hickety hey man. Check out the way that I slay and listen to the groove. Miggity move like the caveman, Captain Caveman from the caveland. Even he's a big fan of the 4-man band. Me, the I-N-E kid to the Q-T-M to the O to the D to the O-G. Yo, a dose of reality. What up, though? What up, though? That's my old group, y'all. That's my old group, Dose Reality. It was, what is it? Intelligent Nubian, I-N-E. Intelligent Educator, I-N-E. Intelligent Educated Nubian. And then there was OG Smooth Father, the original Gangster Father. Woo! OG Smooth. That's what people used to put, cats used to put, that's when cats used to put Father in their name, like Father MC and another one of my favorite rappers, Granddaddy IU. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Free. If y'all ain't up on Granddaddy IU, it used to be me and my boy Solo. Solo, what up, Toe? K Solo. That's what I used to hoop with. That was my hooping partner. You know what I'm saying? We called him K Solo because his name was Kevin, and he ain't never like to pass the ball. So we started calling him K Solo after the rapper. And then it came down to being Solo. That's my guy, though. Yo, Solo, man, get at me, dog. But yeah, Dose Reality, that was my group. And then they used to call me Kid QT, Kid Quite Tricky. Because my style used to be like trickly, stickly, rickly, tickly. All that shit. Like how M and Twister be rapping right now. That's how I used to rap back in the 90s. Nigga. That was the style back in the 90s. So, Dose Reality, what up? So look, y'all, you know, I jump on here a little early before my guest gets on, you know, to talk to y'all, talk to the people. So last time I was talking about Patreon, and I went ahead and set up the account. Yeah, this is gonna be, yeah, I can see this doing some things, and I can see this helping us grow and build too. So for those who don't know, from my last interview, I had mentioned about Patreon. So everyone that's It Factor certified, that's on this page and that I interview, and you know, It Factor certified, they are going to have free access, you know, to the Patreon. You know, that's what we're going to build. Same people that you see on here, that's the same people I'm going to build with. You may also see me do like some solo things. So I really want to create it because I want to share some things with, my loved ones, you know, and just keep it out, because I got some like dope shit, you know what I'm saying, some dope stuff to talk about. And I don't want anybody else grabbing our ideas and trying to flip it and dilute it and all that stuff. So this building, so it's called the It Factor Think Tank, because it's gonna be built on a bunch of thinkers, you know, like raw, unfiltered. And I had to do it too, because not only I know how I am, but I know how y'all are too, man. Y'all, a lot of y'all entertainers, and y'all don't hold nothing back and unfiltered. So yeah, this is actually to protect us, you know what I'm saying? Because we gonna say some shit that's going to offend people that don't know us. Now, if you know us, it's not gonna be, it won't be taken as offense. But if you don't know us, I can see how, yeah, you can take offense to certain things that we say, or certain things that I say. So with that said, I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna also put it in the YouTube interviews that I post as well. And yeah, man, let's build. And some of the topics we're gonna be talking about are, so those who don't know, it's like, you know, when they talk about filmmaking and media and my inspirations, of course, you know, all my people, you know, all my, you know, people, they know who they are. You know, your Tyler Perry's, Robert Townsend's, people I actually met, you know, and work with, and so grateful and look up to. Now, with that said, I'm looking to be more on a tycoon type level, you know, so I'm talking about like your Walt Disney's, Elon Musk's, you know, but past that, past them, because y'all got to think, like, you know, filmmaking, that's my passion, that's my love, you know, and I feel that I'm naturally good at that. You know, not bragging enough, I just am, you know, and that's what motivates me, because I am naturally good at it, but I can also get better, and I love when I get better, and I love the challenge of getting better. Also, I mean, you know, those who know me, I'm an advocate of black tech, you know, black technology, what have you. You know, I've been specializing in like cybersecurity for like 20 years, so that's my thing. And just technology, even when I'm editing and things like that, your latest cameras, editing tools, like all that stuff you have to know, you know, when you're a filmmaker. So, hey, Nevaina, I see you. I'm just warming it up for the people. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, my special guest is here. With that said, so we're gonna go ahead and bring her in here. Now, the person I'm about to bring on, this is like your favorite actor's favorite actor. She's trained many of people in the Atlanta area, LA area. She's trained me. You know, I look to her as inspiration and also to learn this technique. Like, she's very good as far as like the techniques, and she's very highly emotionally intelligent when it comes to acting. It's so, you know, those who do act, you know that it's not just about physical, it's also an emotional energy that you bring, you know, in every scene, whether it's happy, sad, you know, any emotion. And she's like so dope at this and bringing it out of people. So we're going to bring her up here, you know, we're going to chat a little bit, you know. I'm going to let her talk to y'all. And, man, we're going to make history, y'all. These going to be some historic interviews. So I hope y'all watching them. If not, y'all going to have to pay for them later. So I hope you appreciate it. And, I love giving this to y'all. But for real, y'all may have to pay for this later. Y'all ain't up on it now. Hey, Nevaina, I sent you the invite. So, hey.
Hey, hey.
Queen, how are you? How
I
are
am
you?
wonderful.
Good to
How are
see you.
you?
Good to see you. I'm good.
Good
Over
to
there
be seen.
shining,
Ooh, I'm
looking beautiful.
shining. What the
Yeah,
world?
but that's your aura. No, that's your aura shining. That ain't your skin. That's your aura. You know what I'm saying? It's like an orange, beautiful glow. You know what I'm saying that you got. Yeah. So how you
Okay.
doing?
You said, how am I doing?
Mhm.
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
I'm loving life as always.
I'm going to try to turn this up a little bit. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. So I've been warming the people up, you know, just talking like stuff. I know we talked previously on the phone and things like that. So I was just telling them things that I was telling you earlier. So
Okay.
I don't have to spend a whole lot of time talking about me and explaining to the people whatnot. So we just gonna jump right into it. You know, learn about Nevaina, the great. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
yeah, man, let's make history. We gonna make history. You know.
All right,
So
let's do it till it's done, son.
yeah. So first off, how you doing mentally, physically, and spiritually?
Amen. Mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah.
Mentally, I am in a very good place. I, practice a lot of what I preach.
Okay.
So the drama therapy techniques, the meditation, the visualization, affirmations, all of that is a part of my lifestyle. So I live in that space and frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my mind is made up about the wonderful, the beautiful, the fabulous, the available, the all of that. Physically, I am starting to work out again.
Good for you. Oh, as you say that, not to interrupt. It
Okay.
Factor Fitness Fashion. I forgot to tell the people in the beginning. Sponsored by It Factor Fitness Fashion for your latest
Okay.
fashion
Yes.
wear. For
You
those
got
who
to
have
send
the
me
It
my
Factor.
care package so I can look,
I got you. God, send me your
all
sizes
hot
for real.
and whatnot.
Everybody I do interviews with, I give them free stuff for marketing. So just send
Okay.
me your shoe size, jogging pant size, and I got you on the workout tops.
Okay.
But my bad, getting back to you saying, so you're working out. You're working
Yes.
out. I can tell you look good.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, are you familiar with those stairs over by Maynard Jackson? They used to be like stairs to nowhere, but now they've built out like a complex that's up above it. I don't know if it's residential or commercial, but it's right there where the Kroger is behind the Waffle House. And there's probably about, I don't know, anywhere from like 50 to 70 stairs in this stair thing. So I did that. I had done it like during the pandemic. That would be my place to go and walk and do and whatever. So I did that yesterday. I was so proud of myself. I did it 7 times, Shaka, and I was not even that sore.
Oh, I'm proud of you. I'm
I
proud of you.
know.
How did you find the location? What made you choose that location?
Well, my daughter, she graduated from Maynard. And so when I would be taking her over there, and this was 4 years ago, I saw it and I was like, wow. It just reminded me of like those rocky stairs when he runs up the stairs.
Yeah.
I was like, this would be a really cool space to work out. And when I did it, I loved it. I mean, it's just the feeling of accomplishment. And when you get up at the top, it's like this dope view of all the rooftops, and it just has so much of an energetic high to it, because you were talking about actors and energy, and I think now the language of everything being energy is becoming more commonplace, but I don't think people really realize how much your surroundings, the energy of your surroundings affects you. And that's why being out in nature or by water or where you can rise up above the city, you know, that does something to your energetic about rising above all of the muck and the stuff and the worries and the this and the that, and just really allow yourself to get into a high place, right? So that you can have that mental mastery. That's the thing. If you can master your mind, you can really master anything. So doing that, it's like a, what do you call it? A personification in some ways. It makes it tangible that I'm rising to a higher level, right? Then you talked about, what you say, spiritually. Well, you know, I pray all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So I still do a prayer call actually online. I think when I was teaching the class, maybe, or right after, I was doing like every Monday through Friday at 12 noon. And now I do Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 noon. You know, scripturally, 12 noon has a lot of power and expectation around it. When you look in the book of Samuel, it says, by the time the sun be hot, help will be on the way. Some translations say, by the time the sun be hot, your help will have arrived. And that noontime hour scientifically is the time when the sun is highest and hottest in the sky, right? It's also when the lesser light of the moon fully and completely submits to the greater light of the sun. So having that noontime prayer has such spiritual significance in that space. And it just allows you to have expectation that what you are praying about is going to be answered swiftly, completely, in ways beyond what you could think, ask, or imagine, right? So that's my time to center myself and connect in a very intentional way. But I try to keep spirituality integrated in everything I do, be it the conversations that I have with people. I want to speak spirit. When I'm dealing with my children, I want to encourage their spirit. And, you know, we used to play this game when I was taking them to school, and they would ask me about anything, and I had to tell them where it was in the Bible, or what in the Bible supported that or informed that point, right? And it would be interesting, man, because, like, for example, peanut is not in the Bible, right? But we know that peanuts exist. However, the Bible talks about to everything on the earth is given a seed. And so everything that we see starts from a seed, be it a natural seed, a mental seed, which is thought. You know, everything we have or touch or use began as a thought. And that in itself is a seed, right? So you can apply that to anything that exists. So I would, you know, have to massage some things, but it forced me to really make the word alive and to really make a commitment to myself that there is no separation between myself and spirit. I am one with spirit at all times, in all ways, always.
Right. Man, well, thank you for dropping them jewels. You know what I'm saying? You need to write a book or something. You know what I'm saying? I know that's just the tip of the iceberg, because I know this is the type of stuff you kick in class. So that's why I wanted the people to see you and know about you. You know what I'm saying? Because this is very valuable information. You know.
Amen. And I have a book. I actually, I have my women's wellness coloring book. I don't have it where I can lay my hands on it, but when we get to the end and I get to tell all my stuff in my doodles, because coloring is highly therapeutic. I do a lot of workshops and coaching with women and teen girls. And unfortunately, the statistics around trauma for women, especially women of color, is that 9 out of 10 of us will experience some kind of unwanted sexual attention before the age of 18. Now, that statistic, it covers a broad range of what's unwanted attention, right? It can go from somebody at the family reunion saying, "Woo, Candy got her baby making hips," and that makes her discomforted, right? To actual physical assault or rape in some cases. So that statistic covers that wide range, right? But when I did the play for Color Girls that was directed by Jasmine Guy, it was a play that I had seen in college, and it was actually what made me say, I want to act for a living. This is what, oh yeah.
What?
Oh my goodness. And this is the crazy part, Shaka. So the woman, I think she was the woman in green in the play, but her name is Donna Bisco. And I saw her, I saw this play. I just loved it. I said, I'm going to be an actor professionally.
Now, hold on. Let me ask you this, not to interrupt you. Have you had any interest in acting before then, or was it at that point? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had, but it was always seen as a hobby. It was what I did for fun and what I did because I could, you know. I had been acting like literally since I was like 3 or 4 in terms of imitating and doing voices and all of that. But it was this moment in college that I had this epiphany that it does not have to be a hobby. This can be my career. And so then I graduated from Carolina, majored in broadcast journalism because I finish what I start. I like to be a finisher and a starter and a finisher. So
now let me ask you this. Now, what was the interest in your major? You said journalism?
Yes.
What made you want to get into that field?
Well, I was going to be Oprah before Oprah was Oprah, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I can
see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I wanted to do something involved with entertainment, and I loved stories and storytelling and talking to people and all of that. And I also love to write. Like I've been writing poetry since I was 5. Okay. So I thought journalism would be the kind of coming together of all of that, right? But so I see this play, I fall in love with acting, I make my declaration about it being my profession, and then I move to Atlanta. I get my first professional theater role, and I am playing the daughter of the woman who I saw in this play
for real?
in college.
Dang,
yes.
That's crazy.
Was crazy.
That's crazy for real. So you basically attracted that, you know what I'm saying? You manifested that, you know what I'm saying? That's just from a short period of time. That's I get goosebumps from that. So you saying that you saw a play, you was inspired by this woman, and now you working with her.
Yes.
That's
exactly. And that was actually the cast that Lisa Nicole Carson, you remember her? She was in that production, that cast, and she made an impact on me too, as far as just you know, just seeing all that melanin on the stage and their voices, their sizes, their all of that. And I remember when I auditioned for Colored Girls that Jasmine did back in 2009, I think it was. I actually got that role and another role at the Alliance at the same time. And so I was at this place where I had to decide which one I wanted to take. And my mom asked me a profound question. She said, which one would you feel the worst about sitting in the audience and watching, knowing that you could be in it? And I was like, I'm for Colored Girls. That's what I'm doing. Thank you. Yes. Send me my contract. Right. I'm ready.
Now, Nevaina, at this time you were getting these, did you have an agency you were working with, or was this all you, or a manager, or were you working with anybody?
Let me see. The first play that I told you about with Donna Bisco, that was just me. You know, that's when theaters would do the unifieds, where all of the theaters will come together and you get to do your 2-minute comedic monologue and your 2-minute dramatic, and then they call you in for their season or whatever, right? So all of my theater work had been just through that, just myself. You know, you didn't do agencies for theater work then, and I don't know if you do them now, but when I did one of the plays at Horizon, Kathy Hardigree from Atlanta Models and Talent saw me in that production. And after the show, she says, you are really, really good and we should talk. And so I went in, and it was so funny, Shaka, because I had these fake nails, right? I used to get the whole acrylic nails and all that. And she asked me, would I be willing to soak my nails off for a role? Right? And at the time, I had to look like, what? No, my nails.
Hey, let me ask you. You know, I gotta ask. Was she this kind?
Yes. She was, but now it would be nothing for me to cut my nails off, to put my nails on, to grow my hair, to cut my hair. I don't know if I could do like the G.I. Jane cut, but when I think about how much I love the art now, when I look at how much it has blessed me financially, residually, all of that, the idea that I would pause about some fingernails just really speaks to me about where my instrument was at that time. And we're talking some decades ago, right? But not to give I don't age myself, as they say, but
just say early in your career, that's all. Early,
right, that's it. Very early stages. But I've been with AMT since then. And I mean, we've gone through some really interesting times, because when Kathy left AMT and sold it to Sarah, who's there now, I was really looking at moving to a different agent. And Sarah reached out to me and she was like, Nevaina, just be a little bit more patient. It's about to turn around. Because at that point, you know, I was auditioning, let's say, 4 to 8 times a month. I was booking at least 2 gigs a month. I had me a nice little role going, right? And then it came to like a screeching halt. I wasn't going out at all. And Kathy was really overwhelmed because there were no other agents there. She had some personal, it was just all that, right? But I stayed in it because I think relationship is so important. And I really felt like AMT was family for me, you know? And I've had some amazing moments in my career because they believed, because they were compassionate and patient. And even in this season with COVID, you know, I haven't really gotten back in there, as you say. I just did more headshots like last week, because you know, COVID. I lost a lot of people in that
Sorry
time.
to that. Sorry to that.
Yeah, amen. But you know, not anyone in my immediate, but because I love hard, I love far, I love long, they were still very significant losses, you know. And so I decided I'm gonna lock my hair because you know I got to claim my strength and get my strength back.
Yeah, and it looks good, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I had to do some more headshots, you know, because this is not the signature look that I had before COVID, right? So I'm making that commitment to myself that I am getting back in the ring again, as it were, because I'm so excited about all of the things that are happening in Atlanta. I just Jacente, you remember Jacente, right?
Yeah.
Baby, she was nominated for an Emmy.
What?
Yes.
Emmy?
An
What was
Emmy,
she
baby.
in? What was she? I
Yes.
mean, she's
She was
talented enough to get one, but I'm saying, like, what was she in to get an Emmy?
she was nominated Best Actress in a Short Form. She did the webisode series Intersection,
Okay.
which is about gentrification. And she was actually one of the co-writers on that project. And it's
dope.
a 8-part series, and she was absolutely phenomenal.
Really?
I mean, phenomenal. But she was also just in Steel Magnolias. She had a recurring role there, and she invited me to the rap party. So I went there just last night. Got my days running together. So last night, yeah, it was up on the roof. Look, it was on the rooftop of the Claremont Lounge.
What?
Have you been? Yes. What? I was like, this used to be like the rent by $1.
Yeah.
But they have renovated the entire hotel. It looks amazing. And the rooftop is beautiful, you know, up there, and you can see Ponce City and all of that. You know, it's crazy to see how Atlanta has changed, because I've been in Atlanta now almost 30 years, really. So I ain't a peach, but I'm a nectarine.
Right. Just sweet peach. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Nice and ripe and ready for the picking. That's all. You know, just nice and right. You know what I'm saying? The perfect ripeness. That's a shout out to Jacente. I'm gonna try to get her up here. I'm gonna try to interview her. I have a talk with her.
Oh yes, please do. Yeah. I told her I was about to have this chit chat, and I'm gonna see what it looked like. But she's doing amazing work. She has such an instrument. And when I see some of the students like Blue Kimball, Anthony Dalton, who's Isaiah St. John, just these folk who are now doing major roles. And I think about the class we had there at the Encyclomedia building, and the family that we had there, the energy, the talent, the support, just the love, you know, was so real. And I'd love for us to do some kind of project. You know, you were talking to me about the films and all of that.
Let me stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you. Respectfully.
Okay.
But that's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get everybody back, you know what I'm saying, to that. Because I know these people, and we work together, and the vibe that we had in the talent pool, you know, basically I'm just trying to do a film version of Motown. You know, I'm just basically your Barry Gordy of film. I know a bunch of dope people. I'm dope, because a lot of people don't know Barry Gordy wrote a lot of those songs in the beginning. Till he started making money. Yeah, until he started making money, then you got your Stevie Wonders and Smokey Robinsons. He's like, y'all can do that. I'm gonna take care of the business.
Oh, so that's how I'm trying to preach. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Learn me something. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm trying to bring that back. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So that's you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to mention that. That's all. So I am bringing that back. You know? So that's that. But I digress. Continue, please.
I don't know what I was saying.
No, as far as the love and encyclopedia, like, you know what I'm saying, and the classes and the successes of people and things like that, and watching them
Yes.
grow. So let me
Yes.
ask you this: would you consider doing like another workshop, or is that something you're interested in, or is it too much work, or take up too much of your time? What do you what are your thoughts on that? All of the above.
Right, all of the above. Okay, that reminds me of George Wallace. He does this joke. He said, "Everybody got that uncle that answers the question when he asks it. Where your daddy? Work?
Right,
What you
that's
doing?
me. Yeah, that's me all day.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would do a workshop, but I wouldn't do an ongoing class.
Okay.
I'd love to do, like maybe a workshop every quarter, some kind of experience like that. Right now, I've been doing a lot of on-set coaching and a lot of intimacy coordinating. I've done that now for Kingdom Business, Games People Play, the Miss Pat Show, and then the last production I just worked on was Made It in America, directed by Irv Gotti.
What?
And so I love it.
I'm gonna do a shameless plug though. If y'all do know Irv Gotti or got a connection with Irv Gotti, y'all need to link me with him for real. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know him. So that's my shameless plug right there. If y'all got to connect with Irv Gotti, we gotta listen.
Get at you, right?
I can take you where you're trying to go. I see where you're trying to go, Irv. You know what I'm saying? I can take you there. But anyway, okay. So anyway, you were saying you was working with Irv on some stuff?
Yeah, I was the IC on his project. An intimacy coordinator is a newly developed position. It's probably been in play, let's say 4 or 5 years. And it was an industry response to the Me Too movement. So the purpose of an IC is to really make sure that the talent feels safe and clear and supported in any kind of sex or intimacy or content where the vulnerability is high, so that the talent, the talent is protected, and so that the integrity of the work can be maintained, right? So I serve as an advocate for the actor and a liaison to the director and a space of recovery for the actors. You have scenes, and it could be the most tender of moments, but the actor, there may be some triggers there that are sparked. And in the past, actors didn't have the agency to say, this is triggering me. I need a moment. It was like, you need to do when we say action and get over it when we say cut.
Yeah.
But now there is more of an awareness of just how open we become as actors. I remember when I was in The Wrong Man, and I can't, what's the man name? Mashari Ali.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I can't say the man name. He's a brilliant actor, but I had to play I played the woman who had wrongly accused his character. Like, I made up my testimony. He ended up doing all this time in jail, right? And there was the implication that my character was a prostitute. So they're giving me my wardrobe, and they're like, is this okay for you to wear? And I'm like, well, Nevaina won't wear it, but the character can, but all my goodies got to be covered. Share those.
Right.
So I'm like, just don't have me exposed out here in these streets.
Yeah.
But that is a perfect kind of way of describing how we as actors participate in these sex scenes, or in a rape scene, or in an abuse scene. Even though we know it's acting, I still am personally present in that experience, right? So now intimacy coordinators are there to make sure that the actor feels supported through that whole process, and that their no is honored and valued, and you don't have to be afraid of, I'm just going to lose my job if I don't do X, Y, and Z, right? Now, that's not to give us as actors access to abuse that, because many times there are extensive conversations around what you're going to be wearing, what you're going to be doing, what are your touchables, your non-touchables, your this and your that, you know. So as an actor, I think it's important for you to already have those boundaries and what's your absolutes, what's the things you're flexible on, you know, that those kinds of conversations with yourself when you come to the table, right? Because people are going to be expecting your professionalism and your follow through, and that's a part of your integrity and the reputation that you build as a talent. So everybody has to be honest and transparent and collaborative, but having that IC, you know, as a mediator between all of that, I think really helps to build that bridge. It makes the process smoother, and it really enhances the work. I had a couple of one incident with a director who's like, you know, everybody's grown and we don't need that here, right? But I was able to point out to them some very specific things that I had heard on set and seen on set, and this shows you why you do need it. And ultimately, you want to CYA. So I'm your best friend in the space, bro, if you want to know the truth of the matter, right?
Right.
But having that kind of diplomacy and my background in drama therapy and just the sensitivity that comes from heightened spiritual work makes me a valuable asset in that space, right? Because I can leave actors better than I found them, and I can empower them to do their best work in some of the most demanding of circumstances. It's not easy to be, you know, unclad in front of 10, 5, 10 people. You know, it's usually a closed set when you're getting in these big productions and whatnot. So there's some level of cover from that. But even still, it's 10 people you don't know, and you got to be, you know, tail up, toes out. So it can get.
Have you seen my series Money Plus Lust Equals Love?
I saw the promo for it, Shaka, but I haven't. What platform are you streaming that on or airing?
Mine, the one I was telling you about, VHX. It's my own platform. So it's Money Plus Love. I sent it to you. It's in my bio.
Send me the link.
No, it's in my bio. I'll send you the link, but it's in my bio too.
Okay.
But what I wanted to say about that, which is so good, not only for the actors, but being a director, it also helps the director, because like that's really the director. It's in the past been the director's job to kind of talk to the actor, like you were saying. What are you comfortable with? What are your do's? What are your don'ts? Things of that nature, you know. So it also helps the director, alleviates, you know, that conversation where it's like, okay, they're comfortable. You know what they're. It's almost like negotiating a contract. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we negotiated terms and whatnot. Everybody's on the same page. Let's go ahead and shoot. As opposed to, like, I learned that the hard way as an independent actor, being like, okay, you said you want to take it there. You want to be an actress, take it there. And you want to be emotionally, you want to take it there. Now, I just thought you knew how to bring it down. So I had to learn how to bring people back down, bring them back up, to being human again, because you get so caught up in that character, you feel it. Like your spirit takes you there. Like your spirit feels, if you're a good actor, your spirit's supposed to feel like you're actually experiencing this. Yes. So it's like, if you're going to actually experience that in real life you have to bring yourself down too. You can't just cut it off. So that's good for the actor and the director, or just in the movie as a whole. So yeah, and I'm glad that I know you and that you got that experience. So being how you're a professional, I can bring you to my set. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You know, one thing I really do want to do, though, is to create more space for ICs of color, because this whole position originated in California. They initially brought in female stunt coordinators to fulfill this intimacy coordinator position. And the dynamics of that is they're mostly white females. You don't have a lot of African American stunt coordinators or African American or people of color stunt women, right? So they monopolized this space, and then created all of this criteria and regulations and training and tests that now they're charging tens and thousands of dollars for. They don't have a lot of the stuff that they're saying is required, but they were grandfathered in because of their union ties and so forth. And so a lot of my sisters on that coast are being blocked out of the work. But you know, here in Georgia, being a right to work state, that gives you access through relationship. I had relationship with a lot of the casting directors, the UPMs, the so forth and so on, who they know of my work in this intimacy and emotional space, because I also am an intimacy coach for the NFL, which is a whole nother thing, but people got wind of that, right? So it kind of, all of those things came into sync, and I ended up getting in by referral recommendation. Then this UPM moved to the next project and took me with her in that way. But my sisters out on the West Coast, they don't have that, you know, because everything is so unionized. So we've got to, as melanated people, have a solidarity mindset around bringing in folks that look like us into this space. Because whether we like it or not, yes, we're all in a human experience, but our track, our culture, our background, it affects how we come into the space, how we are affected by the space, right? So even the statistic that I gave you at the top that prompted me to do my coloring book, all of that, you know, sisters, we come into the space with some different scars, wounds, experiences.
Right. Yeah.
And that thing needs to be acknowledged and handled, and there should be some intention around it. No, that's not the whole point of the work, because yes, this is a job, but also we can't act like it does not exist. You know, it's that same dynamic when we go into makeup and hair. If y'all can't do my makeup and you can't do my hair, then I end up looking ashy and crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So all of it has to have a balance of the available realities. And I think when we are closed out of those kinds of conversations through this very organized kind of segregation, is the best word I can put on it, then Hollywood is not getting the benefit of diversity. It is the same conversation that was had or is yet to be had about the Oscars. You know, it's the same thing. It trickles all the way down.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing around even the crew stuff, you know, grips and gaffers and this and that. And is there enough talent in crew here in Atlanta for them to be able to staff locally, people of color, so forth, so on, right? And I think in some ways it's about giving opportunities and letting those opportunities have a bit of flexibility around the learning curve. Just because we have not been at the table for as long as you have, we haven't eaten as much as you have. So let me get my appetite up. I got to, you know, work my way through it. And I think when we have more people of color in these green light positions, in these support staff positions, then we can start to build better bridges for everybody, right? Because it brings a beauty to the work. It brings an experience that's lost when you shut people out of the room. So that's one of the other things that I want to do and develop, is the IC space for people of color. Because it's so necessary. It's so in demand. It's so necessary. And it can be translated into healing the community. You know, here in this time of COVID and with George Floyd and the protests, I did some work with Georgia Stand Up. One of the projects was called the Resistance and Resilience Project, because these sisters were literally protesting for 31 days straight.
Right.
Some of them stayed out there 21 days straight. They
Wow.
did not rotate. They were just present there.
Yeah.
And the toll that takes on your psyche, on your soul, your mind, will, and emotions is significant, and it's very real. So they brought me in to do the drama therapy experience, which really allows people to release trauma and drama and let go of your past baggage so that you can really be powerful in your present moment, so that you can start to create the life that you want and expand what's possible and get rid of some of this stress. So we're not walking around proving them right when they say the angry black woman and
Right,
this and that, you know?
Yeah.
And so having more people trained in the IC modality then gives us more trainers who can help heal the community in that creative way as well, you know, because I oftentimes it's me coming in doing it, and I've got to start to replicate myself both in the drama space for actors and in the life space for people who really want to create personas that support the life that they want. Because I tell people all the time, everybody act. You know, you acting different with me, then you go act when you get off the camera, then I'm going to act when I go in there with my children. You know, we all act in some way. And so the key is being able to act up and to act out in ways that support the life that we really, really want, you know? So I want to do that. I want to make an impact both in the industry and outside of the industry, because we are in such a space where we need healing. We need healing. We need to learn how to love. We need to learn how to communicate. We need to learn how to tell the truth. You know, some of us so used to lying, we don't even realize we're lying.
Right.
How you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm wonderful. Knowing you just had a breakdown and a meltdown and a go off 2 seconds ago, right? But we make all these excuses for getting used to the lies in our lives. And that allows us to live below it. We get to hide in that way. Yeah. And so I'm ready for people to really be transparent, to operate in full truth so that we can really have that life and life more abundantly. And so I see these conversations in my life coming together, you know, in like beautiful ways. And it's the kind of art that I want to create, you know. I remember when I saw the movie Crash. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to write a movie like that. I want to be in a movie like that. This is a mirror of what life is and what it should be, could be, would be, if we all would see ourselves as really a part of a human whole, you know? And that's not to get rid of our cultural unique attributes. It's to maintain all of them. My son and I, we're having this conversation, and I'm like, you know, the American melting pot suggests that we are all equal, but it's not so, right? And so he's like, well, there's some woman that said we should call it a salad bowl, because you have all of these things that are still uniquely themselves, but they're all in this thing together, right?
Good point.
And that would work if we were able to honor the lettuce and the tomato equally.
Right. Instead of saturating it with ranch dressing and making everything taste like white ranch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of the healthy vegetables and the healthy lettuce, you know what I'm saying, the nutrients that you need, we're going to put this poisonous white ranch on the other salad. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. But yo, this is the type of stuff we're going to be talking about on the Patreon. So
Okay.
That's a good point. This is a good point. We're gonna get back to what you were saying. So this is a good point on the Patreon, and I was gonna stop you because you're giving them too much. You're giving them too many gems. You know what I'm saying? You're giving them too many gems. So this is
Okay.
the stuff we was gonna put on Patreon, and we gonna charge people to get on the Patreon. Now all y'all, we gonna be free. All of us gonna be free, but we gonna charge people because the stuff you dropping us valuable information. I didn't even know that position even existed, and I'm in the film industry, so I've never even heard of this. This is the first time I even heard of this position. You see what I'm saying? So this is like, that's valuable information. And to your point, it could be an actual career that you can make money off of. You know what I'm saying? Have a career in. You know?
Yeah.
So like
it pays well, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So look. So we ain't gonna talk about that. We gonna stop right there and say that for the Patreon. All right? We gonna say that. So we got about like 10, 15 minutes. What I want to get into is what you doing now. Like what you doing now, what you promoting, what you got any projects coming along, or like what's going on with you now?
Right now, I am doing a lot more speaking. So my purpose acronym is I am a star, STAR. I speak, I teach, I act, I reach millions through seminars, books, workshops, and coaching. So I am working on my digital platform because we want to be able to make a maximum impact, right? And I do healing experiences using drama therapy for couples, women, and teen girls. So I'm actually going to Mississippi at the end of the month to do an experience there with a group of women.
Are you filming these things as you do?
Oftentimes, no. I may get like testimonials before and after, but the digging, Shaka, and the release that these women experience is so visceral and emotional. It really, in order for me to film it, I'd really have to finesse what does that look like.
I was thinking like number one, with their permission, of course, but like for your records, I don't know if you go back and study, you know what I'm saying, research for like classwork purposes. So if you do get permission, you may be able to use them as an example in your classes or workshops teaching people.
Yeah, a lot of times with that, I may record it without sound at times. And then when I do the digital projects, you know, I may have a smaller group. So then I can just manage it better, you know. But the answer to your question, no, I have not filmed it in like its full and entirety, but that's one of the things that I'm working on in terms of how can I share this digitally and keep it at its highest efficacy. So I will have live people there in the space demonstrating and participating, and then those who download or plug in or what have you can get the maximum benefit and have some real-time examples in front of them, right? So I'm working on that. I'm also writing.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. What you writing?
Yeah, I have a series that I'm working on and a feature film that I'm working on, and then a book project that I'm ghost writing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I got some deadlines that are past me that I really need to get, and that's what, you know, that's one of the things that I think has been a challenge for me in terms of really making a full-fledged career out of writing is I just got to feel the flow to write, right? And when you write for a living, you got to write on demand. It's like,
but I'm gonna say this though, like to write for money, you gotta write on it, because I'm a writer, but I don't write for money. I'm like you, I have to feel it, you know.
Right, and that's what
when
I'm
in the zone, like I might write like a half a script in one day though, you know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's like I agree, like you gotta feel it. You don't want to write for money, like that's my thing. I could have been a professional writer, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I didn't want to have to do it for the money. I didn't want that.
But I'm saying that's what makes it where you can choose it as a career, or you got to keep it as a hobby. Because if you don't write, you don't eat. So you got to do it whether you want to do it, don't want to, blah, blah, blah. I think that's how I am with acting, with coaching. You know, it's just in me. Whether I'm acting on a project in the right now, or if I'm just living my life, I'm still experiencing all these things as an actor. You know, when I go and watch things at the movies, sometimes I go to the movies twice, because the first time I may be watching it as the actor. So I'm looking at their choices and, oh, why did they do that? And that was a win and this was a loss. And oh my gosh, blah, 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 all of that, right? And then I may be sitting there just enjoying the experience, because that's one of my favorite things to do, especially with my sons, is go to the movies. And so I realized that I have a different muscle at work, but my acting muscle is always present, you know? And I think that's one of the things that lets you know this is what I want to do. I want to do this like for my life, for my living. Yeah. It's wild when people from high school or my hometown, they'll see me on Tyler Perry, or they'll see me on a commercial or something, and they're like, you still doing it? Right. You were so good in high school, and you had us doing plays in the backyard. Right. All of that. It really speaks to the fact that this is my purpose. This is really what I love to do, and I'm doing what I love, you know, and it enhances my real life in so many wonderful ways. It really, really does. I met some actors who get into acting to escape who they are. I was one of the fortunate ones. I got into acting to be more of who I am, and to get to know myself in a much more intimate way with grace and ease. And I think that's one of the things that I used to develop my acting technique, right? I think it was Robert De Niro who said, if you act, be true to your character. If you don't act, be true to yourself and have good character. It's something like that. And I may be paraphrasing, but the sentiment is so, right? And I think when we can bring that kind of balance to the work, it makes all of it worth it. Like when we would do tapping exercises in class, those things that let you plug right into emotion, I would often take us through a time in your life when. Think about a time in your life when you were betrayed, a time in your life when you felt great grief, a time in your life when you were enraged, right? It allows you to take those moments in your life and create for yourself a reservoir of emotion to inform your work, to make your performance delicious, to make it so real that people are like, oh, shoot, that must have happened to him for real, right? Yeah. And so we as actors, that's a beautiful gift. A lot of people, they just got to be betrayed and get over it. You know, they don't have nowhere to put that. Yeah. Except for either in their next relationship or make that other joker pay for what this one did. You know?
Me.
But
take it out on me when I'm dating them. No, I'm just playing.
But see, if they were actors, they could have worked all that out. And put it in a character. Yeah. I think it gives it so much value, you know, and it connects us to the human experience. You know, when Maya Angelou said, I am human, therefore nothing human is foreign to me. I think that is one of the cornerstones for us as actors, as artists, as storytellers. There is some human truth in nearly every moment that we show or that shows up on the page, on the screen, what have you.
Yeah. That's dope, man. This is some good stuff, Nevaina. Look, I think I got 5 minutes left on the Instagram. So if we cut off, if we get into some good stuff, I'm gonna resend you the invite. I'm just letting you know in case we get cut off suddenly.
Okay.
Because
Now
I
I'm
don't want
gonna
to.
wrap it up.
Yeah, I just don't want it to end it on nothing. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure we have a good ending. That's all. So
Okay.
yeah. So look. So what's the, okay? We got the book and stuff like that or whatnot. What do you want to do future? Like, let's say, like, what's the